Ego. Everybody loves to talk about their ego, right? Yeah, a lot of times our egos get us into trouble, right? So, as we round out this part three of the conflict triangle, how sometimes our conversations can just go up in flames, ego can be like the oxygen that really just feeds things and keeps the conflict going, right? Ego is the oxygen that keeps the conflict alive. And when ego takes over, listening stops, and the need to win takes the wheel. When our ego takes over, listening stops, and our need to win takes the wheel. Because a lot of times, unless we get our ego in check, ego resists apology, ego resists compromise, ego definitely can tend to resist being wrong. And let's face it, conflicts escalate when the goal becomes winning and not understanding. So, what are some ways we can really pull back our ego and that just innate desire we have to win and make sure we get the last word? Well, one of the best things you can do is to stop listening to reply. You know what I'm talking about. That is when the other person says something and you're coming up with a retort, a lot of times it might not be very positive, right? And we pretty much stop listening. We just can't wait for that moment to say what it is that we want to say back to them, right? So, one of the things we can do to really bring ego out of the conversation is to recognize when that happens and, really pull back that desire to stop listening just to reply. And instead of listening to reply, listen so you actually understand what they're saying. Be curious. Don't be judgmental about them. Be curious. Listen to understand. And one of the big things we can do to really pull our ego out is to change our perspective in the conversation. Because a lot of times our ego wants to make it all about me. But if we change our perspective from making it about me to making it about we, this person we're trying to have a conversation with, that can really put a damper on the flames of this conversation conflict. So remember, ego is that desire we have that takes over, that stops us from listening to the other person. So just really try to listen to understand to the other person and not just about the next thing you're going to say. And when we look at a conversation as something that can bridge gaps, that is where beautiful things can happen. I hope you've gotten a lot of benefit out of this conflict in conversation series. I'd love to hear what landed for you and maybe some ways that you've incorporated some of these strategies into your life. How did you work to address the history that can sometimes fuel the conflict? How did you work on your delivery, which can sometimes spark, the flames of conflict? It's like the heat in a fire equation. And then finally, after some of this, what are some ways you have found that really work to pull your ego out so you can listen to the other person and truly understand what it is and have a communication with them? Because that's what this is all about. The world needs better communicators. And I'm not talking about people that get up on a stage or on TV or film things on social media. I mean, there's one-on-one interactions. So I would love to hear what is landing for you, what's working for you. Let me know what's not working for you, and maybe we can workshop some of that stuff. So as you go out there, continue to do awesome things. Continue to bridge those gaps with people. Onward and upward, everybody. Have a good one.